What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the Bossman Show, friend of the show, Coach Mike Morrell. UNC Asheville Bulldogs out of the Big South, currently 6-2 in Big South play. Got a big game come up this week against Winthrop. What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, boss man?
I'm great, man. Good to have you on the show again. I know we had a tough game the other night, man, but I'm glad you're still doing the show today, despite all that happening, man.
Nah, man. I'm not going to let one loss deter us too much. You got to kind of have amnesia a little bit once you watch the game film, try to move on, because our league's really deep this year and the next opponent's going to be really good. And if you're not ready, they'll beat you.
No doubt. And what I have seen, Brother Mike, is, man, you all found your groove in Big South play, man. Let's talk about kind of what put out the non-league for your team for as a gelling together, becoming more connected and playing well during your conference play, man, in a very deep league.
Yeah, I mean, first off, we played a really tough non-conference schedule, I should say, and our league also went from 18 games last year to 16 games, so we played 2 more non-conference games, and we had some really good wins. Appalachian State, Western Kentucky, Kennesaw State over your way. We had some really good non-league wins, and we won 3 in a row right before Christmas. So I felt like we're playing well towards the back end of our non-conference schedule. And then, we've, 2 losses in league play have came to the, High Point, who's undefeated in our league, and we to them on the road by a couple buckets, and then to Gardner-Webb the other night, who's tied with us for second in the league. So we just got to continue to try to, control what we can control, with the understanding we're going to be imperfect. But, we've got an old team, we got a deep team. And so these next 8 games, now that we've seen everybody's going to be critical.
No doubt. Like you said, there's no secrets anymore on synergy. We all know who we're running, so it's all about execution. And like you said, having a veteran team in February and March is so important, where They understand how to read a scout the right way. They understand game plan discipline the right way. They understand how to do little things. So about there, brother Mike, a little bit more about how having a veteran team where you can really know going the second time through, these guys will really be prepared even more now.
Yeah, I mean, again, we got 4 starters back from last year, so that helps. Little things like terminology and these guys knowing the other players on these big South teams helps just from saving some time. You're not out there at this time of the year, at least we're not out there for 2.5 hours just killing each other. We're really trying to lock into what the plan is for each game. And so with Winthrop, it's our biggest rival in the league, without question. And, this is an opportunity for us, really they're a game behind us to potentially put some separation. But they know that too, so their motivation is going to be the same thing on the other side, especially since we won, versus them really just 2 weeks ago. So, again, you got to have amnesia in this league, in really any league in Division I basketball, whether you win or lose, because if you're riding high too long, you'll get knocked off, and that happened to us a little bit the other night at Gardner Webb.
No doubt, man. I'm asking kids, man, brother Mike, like with you all playing so many close games, having a veteran group again that helps well because you both know you can't for somebody that really the right way in practice. It happens in a live game, man. And so playing these close games and coming out on the right side of them sometimes you're not. Be able to go to the film and teach and learn from that. So as the games are more important, you come down this stretch here. Talk about that piece of it as well, trying to learning how to play close games, learning to win these games, and having a veteran group to help you do that.
Yeah, well, I think one thing I've learned with this group is just as important as the practice time is on the floor. They really learn from film and from sitting down in a classroom setting and talking and developing a plan, and that comes from having a veteran group, which we're lucky to have. And so, I think you can be a little more unique with the more experience that you have. And so, we're fortunate to have that. In the same breath, there's like Winthrop's extremely old as well, extremely experienced. So they have the luxury of the same thing. And I think that's why you're seeing so many close games in our league. And you're seeing some of these teams that were maybe picked at the top, some teams that were maybe picked at the bottom. Everybody's kind of, with the exception of High Point, and a lot of credit to them to the start that they've had. A lot of teams are beating up on each other here. I believe, up until this point, I think there's 4 teams with a winning record out of 9. So it's a tough league, and again, you better be ready to go, or you're going to be disappointed.
And I don't think fans realize how close the margins are, brother Mike. Like, it's really possessions here and there.
Yep.
It's just how close these games are from wins and losses. That's why
Yep.
those small, intangible things like the blockouts, knowing your rotations, having that scout discipline, all those small things that fans don't think about, that you and I think about, are so key to winning games. We've been so, the margins been so thin.
Yeah, I mean, we had it at Charleston Southern, found a way to win. We had it at Gardner Webb, didn't. We led by 9 with, I think 8-9 minutes to go. Had the ball down 1 at High Point, chance to take the lead, and didn't get it done there. But then again at Longwood at home, same thing, and found a way to win. So the teams with the better records, obviously, for the most part, are finding a way to get those games done. And we went 16-2 in the league last year. Same thing. We kind of found a way to win those games. And 2, you got to steal some. You got to go on the road and you got to steal some. And we kind of feel like we did that versus Winthrop. Had a chance to do that versus Gardner Webb. 5 of our first 8 games in the league, Bossman, are on the road. And so now we're hopefully have the luxury of 5 out of 8 at home and 4 out of our next 5. But that doesn't guarantee you anything, I can assure you.
Oh, no doubt. But I was asking you about how was it playing in Montreal, man, playing in Canada. I know you guys got the big wins up there. So tell me about how it was up there for you guys go out of the country, go to Canada, see Montreal where they speak more French than English. How cool was that for you and the team?
Well, it was cold as hell.
No doubt.
It's up there. I'd never been to Montreal, been to Canada, but not been to Montreal. So, that trip, started off with a game against Lipscomb, and they beat us up pretty good. They played a great game, and then we were able to come back and find a way to beat Wofford without Drew Pember, and then beat Western Kentucky by 10, which was a huge win for us. Against a team that's a little bit higher level than us. But it was fun, man. They were great crowds. In terms of an NTE event that I have played in since I've been a head coach here at Asheville, by far the best attended. I mean, it was really, really impressive how many people were there, and it was an NBA-esque type of arena, obviously a hockey arena, so it was a little chilly in there, but
No doubt.
overall a great experience for our team.
And Brother Mike, man, you got 4 guys in double figures with Drew leading the way. So talk about having that balanced squad attack with Drew leading the way and not letting defenses key in on Drew all the time. Have other guys who can score the ball, make sure that ball moves and pops. So other guys get touches, so they'll defend hard on the other end of the floor, so they get some touches. Be able to know they will get ultimately score the basketball as well.
Yeah. Josh Banks has really helped us there. He's our second leading scorer. He's been a real punch in terms of that for us. Can really shoot the basketball. Fletcher Aby's upped his production from last year. And then Nick McMullen has done the same for us. And, we've had some guys like Toyaz Solomon who've really came on for us of late, and is going to continue to do that as we move forward. So, it's Drew's had some big games, but then he's had some games where, he's really moved the ball around. He had a triple-double versus App. Josh Banks had 30-some in that game. So Fletcher's had games. You speak of Canada, Fletcher was terrific in Canada. So we've had those guys who have in their own right had really good production this year. And so it's good to see 4 guys in double figures and then a guy like Caleb Burgess who really moves the ball around. So we just got to continue to grow, man. And again, you're only guaranteed nine games now. And so it's amazing that we're already to February, but it's where we are.
No doubt. Also, you're doing a good job on the glass, too. We talk about how important the glass is for rebounding the ball defensively, in the possession, starting to get out transition as well. And on offense, crash the glass with your 3, 4s, and 5s. Make sure you get some opportunities to get more scoring done on that end of the floor as well, Brother Mike.
Yeah, we've grown in that. I don't love where we've been the last few games with that. It's a big area, a point of emphasis from us. Even at Charleston Southern, I thought we did a poor job there. We won the game, but you got to look at reality and see where you got to grow even in your wins. And we did a great job the other night at Gardner Webb until we didn't. In the last 8 minutes, it really bit us. Did a great job in the first 32 minutes, but you got to finish the game, and that was one of the key things that Gardner Webb was able to do late in that game was get second chance points. So we've got a big team, an athletic team, and if we want to compete for a championship, we've these next 8 games we've got to be better than we have the last few.
No doubt. You're also doing a good job on 20 turnovers, on 20-12 a game, which is limiting down. Especially we don't want to loud balls, of course, but
Yep.
you only having 12 a game is good. I think you want to probably get that down a little bit less than more like 9, not 12. But for how important it is having those guys who not turning the ball over, having these guys who understand the value of the ball and how the ball is everything, and not throwing it away and getting in conflict and runouts, transition as well.
Yeah, we've grown from that from last year offensively. Probably the biggest thing that we've done in terms of growth is taking care of the ball. We've had our games where we've been better, had our games where we've struggled with that. Last game we weren't good enough versus Gardner Webb, who's a really good defensive team. So like rebounding, man, it's a huge point of emphasis. And then when it plagues you, man, it really, really plagues you. And unfortunately for us, last game, both of those did in times where we needed to be really solid with the ball. So Caleb Burgess really, he leads that for us. He's done a great job for the most part this year. And Drew as well, because Drew handles the ball so much. So again, you want to compete for a championship, you better rebound and you better take care of the ball.
And also with the new rule change, Mike, this year, man, about the secondary defenders not getting charges. How have you trying to talk defense this year more? Just make sure guys are more on the ball, getting in front of the ball earlier. They'll still give you the own ball charges, but not the secondary defenders. So how have you kind of talk differently this year for your schemes to kind of just say, hey, put a wall up, hands to the sky, and not try to try to draw a target that ain't gonna call this year.
Yeah, this is why I like coming on this show, because you ask those, those are really good questions that, most people don't really don't see or talk about. But it's twofold for us because we were a really good secondary charge taking team. So it's limited some of the stops that we've been able to get that we have in the past, just because you got to tell your guys, guys, unless you're standing there for a couple seconds, you ain't getting this call. And one thing I do think that our officials coordinator this year did a good job of getting us prepared for that, how just monumental of a rule change that was going to be. And then, the on-the-ball charges are still there. But I think those are limited a little bit, because when you tell them to quit taking them over here, and they kind of stop taking them on the ball as well. And so it started to really affect that charge as well. And so, on the other end, a lot of people tried to take charges on Drew Pember last year that were successful, that were really 50-50. So that on that side, it's helped us. But hey man, it's I'm all for it. It's a bang, bang call that's really, really hard to get right.
No doubt, man. And like you said, man, now this is about being even more solid and being even more in tune to your schemes where you need to be in the right place is more important than ever now. You can't get a late, start over late to get some. You have to really be in your spot, know your rotations even more than we used to in the past, because you're not getting that call, though.
Yep, no doubt. No, you're exactly right.
No doubt. But, man, Brother Mike, man, I hope we do this again in March like we did before, man. We go to the big dance, I'll be cheering for as always, man. Like I said, keep up good work, man. I always enjoy our chats, man. We hope to do this again in a few weeks or so, brother.
Okay, man. Appreciate you, man.
Anytime, brother. I'll see you soon, brother.
Okay.
All right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z. Sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews. You name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcasts on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.